morning. So let's get started with our subject. Today we're going to start with Python. Today we'll see what is this Python, why everyone is using Python, what benefits it has, and how suddenly everyone has changed their coding to Python, right? So we'll see what is this in this session. Now, to become a data engineer, you need to have two strong skills. One is going to be SQL and one is going to be Python, right? So we are here to learn about Python. Now, if I want to compare with SQL with Python, right? So SQL, you can communicate only with database. I want to talk to a database. I want to ask some questions and it gives you the queries. So that is where your SQL is used. But if you're talking about Python, it can talk to any tool or you can talk to anything. You can do automation, you can do anything, right? So in our data engineering, which will be outside the database. See, outside the database, your SQL cannot communicate. Your SQL can talk only to database, but in the real time, you have to talk to some web applications. You have to talk to some other tools where the data is flowing. It could be some on-prem tools. It could be some visualization tools. It could be some APIs. So it could be anything. In that case, your Python is going to be helpful. But we still don't know what is Python. We are just hearing the word as Python, right? Now let's see what is this Python. So the second topic that we are going to learn as part of the roadmap will be this one, right? So one quick information to share here. Guys who have missed SQL classes, nothing to worry. There is no hard and fast rule that only you will understand Python if you understand SQL. No, it's two different languages. One is left side, one is right side, right? So if you are very new to this session, that is you have joined today, no problem. We can always go and learn SQL anytime, right? And in KSR, you have the privilege. Once you get registered to our course, you can attend SQL anywhere, right? Any batch. We keep conducting SQL batches every now and then, and you can cover up there. Or if you are like want to join in this session, and if you want to go with recordings, you will still get it, right? So don't put that as a burden. Keep that aside. SQL, anytime, any batch, you can learn in KSR. But the key concept, that is the key subject that we are going to learn now, will be Python. Okay. Now, let's say what is this Python? Looks a bit scary, but let's try to understand this. Just think and tell me, what could be the reason why they have named as a snake name as a technology name? Any guess? Python, we know it's a snake.
Actually, Santosh, the Python library is humongous, and the animal also large. That's why.
Mhm. Okay, good guess. Why is that they have named a snake name as a technology name?
Maybe it
The Python the repeated thing.
maybe it's flexible and it expands and contracts as the requirement is.
Okay,
I think it can digest anything.
it is digestive. Could you please be on mute? Who is not speaking? Come on, think and tell me why have they see there should be some naming convention, right? Why they have kept as a Python on a programming language? That's my question. Is it poisonous or what?
Yeah, Python is poisonous.
Python is poisonous. I'm asking why they have kept the name for programming language. I have
Yes.
a fair guess. I'll tell you. You tell me it could be true or it could be false. Okay. I have a fair guess. It's a guess only. Okay. It's my guess. You guys are saying it has it has a lot of libraries. It can expand. You're saying all of this. I have a fair guess. Let me do that guess. Okay. This Python can eat any animal, right? Starting from hen or like a goat, or even it can eat even a human, right? It can even eat a human. So my fair guess is this Python programming language can eat all the other technologies, and that's why they have named as Python. Is it correct? Is it correct?
No.
Not completely.
Then what is the purpose they have named it as Python?
It's a famous circus show.
Okay.
The founder of Python, he very interested to watch the famous show in circus. So that is a call he name it the Python.
Okay. So if you're all thinking that Python comes after a snake name, that's not correct. Okay. So let's do a deep dive and figure out why they have named it as Python. Let's wait and watch. Now, as part of the agenda, today we'll discuss what is Python. And I don't like to talk about history, but we have to talk because this is something which is very benefit for us. So today this programming language has helped us a lot in all the applications, all the use cases. So let's figure out a bit of history, and then we can start installing Python environment in our machine and we will start coding. Okay, so that will be the agenda. And in the recent times, you would have seen most of these sessions turn to be online sessions, right? Uh, in the post COVID, I've seen there is an online yoga class, okay, online Zumba class, online dancing class, right? Online singing class. All of this is there. I have seen personally, even I have joined online yoga class, right? So most of the things I've joined, I mean, has been into online, and it's common due to the big tough schedules. We also opt for online. I have personally joined online yoga class. Okay. Now, I have done a lot of research, but still, I have never found online swimming class. Do we have that? Online swimming class. Have anyone joined any online swimming class?
No.
Why? When online gym is possible, when online yoga is possible, why is online swimming is not possible? Why?
Practicals are required.
Practicals is required, right? Now, here, Python is a programming language. You hear this subject from one of the best ever lecturer on this earth. Unless and until you practice, you will never learn. This is like swimming. Learning Python is like swimming. You stay on top of water and you practice n number of times. You rotate your hands, you do your exercise, you do your warm-ups, you give your leg exercise, do whatever you want. Unless and until you get into water, you will not learn. This is a simple step I'm telling you. If you want to master Python, what I teach has to be implemented on then and there. That is on a daily basis. Today morning, if I'm teaching something, the same thing has to be learned today itself. Okay. I always relate learning Python is equivalent to learning swimming. When you don't get into the tool, when you don't practice it, it is useless, right? The guys who have introduced Python, even if they come and teach in this class, unless and until you practice, it is not going to help. There are a lot of sessions where you just listen and you can master it, right? There are a lot of sessions. If I ask you to watch a movie and you watch the entire movie, right? And if I ask you to narrate the story, 100% you will do it. 100% you will do it. Every scene also you can narrate it because that is different. But here you will have to sit and code. The guys who are thinking that, okay, Python is tough and I don't know how I'm going to master it. The first thing is you should be ready to write a code. Whether it's correct, whether it's wrong, you have to write it. You have to write it. And if you're all thinking to learn Python, should I come from a coding background? What is a prerequisite I need to have? Right? Is what is a pre-knowledge I need to have? If you're all thinking, only one thing I'll tell you. Only one thing I'll tell you. If you want to learn Python, you just need to know English. That's it. That's it. You need not have a formal degree. You need not have any education background. And you don't need to have any computer science graduation also. Not required. To learn Python, you just need to know English. As simple as that. As simple as that. Right? Don't think that only computer science students can master this coding language. No, it's all a myth. If you want to learn Python, you need to know English. If you know English, you can directly go and write the code. Is that easy as writing English words, right? So one more thing is, if you want to master this, every day you need to practice. It is like a normal routine, right? Right from the day you wake up and you go to sleep, what do you do? Just add another task to your bucket, Python. See, I've been seeing a lot of people thinking that your programming languages and your jobs, everything is replaced by AI, right? People say that AI is also like doing coding for us, and AI is doing everything, right? And people are also fear. What if AI will take away my job? Let me tell you one thing. AI, right? Artificial intelligence. And you're all thinking artificial intelligence is going to overtake your jobs. Let me tell you very clear statement that AI is also working on coding. If you're all wondering how AI is working, AI is also working with coding. So if you're all thinking is language is going to overtake your jobs, definitely no. The reason, the reason, whatever you're doing, whatever you're doing in the backend, there is a coding. Whatever the chat GPT you use Gemini, use Copilot, do whatever, use whatever you want. But the idea, the business logic, and how to handle it, only human knows. So don't think too much. If you have one programming language in your resume, I can simply say that you're 45 times better than all the other IT guys who don't know coding. Most of the jobs, if you see, the layoffs is happening because people don't know coding. If you know coding, definitely your profile will always have a upper hand. Doesn't matter whether you're a data scientist, data analyst, data engineer, web developer, UI developer, DB developer, etc., etc., etc. Whoever you are, knowing a coding language will always keep you secure. Today, very proudly, I can say that it's on live. I'm also on YouTube live. The video is getting recorded, and a lot of guys who are watching in YouTube. But I can still say that my job is secure. And someone comes and asks me how it is secure, I can simply say that if this company fires me, I can go to another company. The number of skills I have, I also have a coding knowledge, so I can survive anywhere. I can survive anywhere, right? And that's the attitude you need to have. You need to have one programming language in your bucket. You need to have one programming language in your resume so that your job is going to be secure. Doesn't matter what you do. You have to have one programming language. There are a lot of other roles which does not require any coding. I'm not saying that that is going to go down. No, but having a knowledge of one coding will always keep you upper hand. And why we have choose Python, we'll see that. Okay. So with that, let's get into the subject. Let's get into the subject. So people say that Python is a high level programming language. Let's see what is this high level programming language. Okay. Now here Python is a general purpose high level programming language. So we need to understand what is this first line says, right? Let's say what is this first line says. Now, there is two code that has been attached on the screen, right? So one is a high level programming language and one is a low level programming language. Okay. Now, I'll give you 1 minute time. I'll give you 1 minute time. You see this example. You see this example, what they are doing in the high level programming language and what they are doing in the low level programming language. Okay. And this question especially for the guys who does not know anything on Python. And this question is for the guys who have never ever coded a single word in Python so far. You can feel free to answer. Just unmute yourself and tell me what they are doing in this code. Assuming that you don't know anything about coding, with only the English words that you understand from the coding language, tell me what they are doing in this part of the code. Anyone?
Adding.
What they're adding?
Summing up two
Adding
numbers.
the
Addition of two
two
numbers.
numbers and print.
They took two variables A and B and they are giving some values to A and B and they are doing summation.
Adding 5 plus 10. That is the
Adding,
addition.
okay, adding 5 plus 10. Okay.
Adding 5 plus 10 and they are displaying in the high level programming, and even in the same thing is happening in the low level programming also.
Okay.
But in the high level programming, this less lines, and low level programming is more lines of the code.
Okay. So one thing what is happening in the high level programming language, the guys who have never ever seen coding, the guys who have never coded in Python, even you can go and see what they're doing, right? So we clearly know that this is a add symbol, right? And we clearly know that they're adding two numbers and they're also adding 5 plus 10, which is nothing but it is going and storing in the result, right? So here, the main objective here is to add two numbers. But what is happening in the high level programming language? High level programming language, clearly it is human readable code. That's why I keep saying, if you want to learn Python, you need to know English. You cannot go and write it in Telugu, or you cannot go and write it in Tamil, you cannot go and write it in Hindi, right? You need to know English. All the English words which you see here, some of the English words will turn as a keywords. Keywords in the sense, computer will understand what it is, right? So what is this high level programming language? High level programming language is something which is understood by humans, right? Humans can easily understand what has been written, and if you share your code to someone, they can figure out what you have written, right? But when it comes to a low level programming language, it is very hard for a human to understand what they have done here, right? See, this is exactly the same adding two numbers which I have written in some microcontroller code or microprocessor code, right? But we don't know what it is, right? We don't know what it is. So the same right side code, it is also adding two numbers, but it's very hard. I don't know what is this MOV. I don't know what is this EAX, right? And of course they have given some comments, but still I don't know where they are doing addition. I don't know where they're doing addition. Can anyone tell me? Here it is clearly they're adding two numbers. It's addition, but I don't know where they are doing addition. Anyone? Yeah, here it is.
They use
Actually, these are architecture level code. These are the registers and system calls happen inside.
So this is a non-human readable code, right? So something which is readable for you, we call it as a high level coding, and something which is you're not understanding what is written, it is low level programming code. Okay, but you know what? You know what? Computer will understand both. Computer will understand both. You either write a high level language or a low level language, computer will understand both. But computers easily understand low level programming language. But if you're writing a high level programming language, internally what happens, high level programming language will be converted into a low level programming language and then the system works. That's not my problem, right? However you want, you convert it, you give me the results, I don't care. But as a human, I want to understand what has been written, and that is why we call Python is a high level programming language. When I say high level programming language, human can understand, and that internally will get converted into a low level, and the systems will understand low level. Okay, by default, your systems will understand low level. Low level in the sense some logics, keywords, and some expressions, everything they understand. But as a human, we wanted to understand. So by seeing the code, if you want to understand what they're doing, that is where your high level programming language comes. Now, going back to the slide one, Python is a general purpose. When I say general purpose, you can use it for anything. You can use it for building a web application. You can use it for building our data engineering pipelines. If you want to write a simple code, you can write. I don't know how many of you have played this game. So in our before smartphones, we had Nokia 1100 or all these handsets, right? Basic handsets. In that, we have a snake game. Do you know that? There'll be one snake game where you have to keep
Yeah, I
on
play.
taking the cubes, right? You know what?
Yeah.
Even that can be
Circles.
built by
It does
Python.
circles.
So this code can do anything for you. And that is why we call it as a general purpose. Right from a simple game to a complex game, right from a basic screen to a web application, right from a simple print statement until going and building a pipelines, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Uh, Maybe I should have not told this, but still I'm telling you. Uh, in this lockdown time, after lockdown everything, right? It's completely work from home for me. Okay, it's completely work from home for me. And 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, what happens? I eat lunch, and I don't know. It has become like a habit. After lunch, I sleep for 2 hours. Some or the other way, I sleep. I feel like, oh, I should not sleep. I need to work. But 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock every afternoon, I sleep, and it has become a habit for me. One day, today, they have tracked in my company, and they have told that you're actually going offline every 2 hours after lunch. This is not fair, right? So you cannot go off like this. You have to work for 9 hours. You have to work. You have to be available. You have to be online. And you know what? You know what I did, right? I'm the laziest person. So obviously, I'll always find some alternatives. You know what I did? I wrote a Python script which will never switch off my system, which will never change my status from online. Simple, simple. I did this. I used for my personal usage also. And that is why I call it as general purpose. You can do anything. You can do anything. I wrote a code in Python, which always will keep my status online. Simple, no? Nowhere data science comes into picture. Nowhere data engineering comes into picture. Nowhere web application comes into picture. I wrote a simple code which kept on running and kept me status online. Now, even though I'm sleeping from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, my clients are thinking, hey, this guy is still working. As simple as that, right? So that is why it is called general purpose. Now, talking about who is the father of Python, Guido van Rossum. Okay, even if you don't remember, that's completely fine. He is the father of Python, right? And it was introduced in the year 1989. Okay, so just before 3 to 4 years when I was born, Python was also introduced. So 1989 is a Python's year. So 1989 in the sense 11 years there and 25 years here. So 36 years old, correct? Is it correct? So 36 years
Yes,
old,
sir.
36, 35 to 36 old is where Python was introduced, and it was introduced in Netherlands. And don't think that Python is coming from the name of snake. It's not a snake name. And whatever I told, it can eat all the other technologies. No, it's not true, right? So Python is actually named after a popular show, right? There is a circus program that was held. So That is where they had given this name. So it's a program name. Okay, it's some circus program name. So don't think that it's a snake name. It's not a snake name, right? Of course, snake is a different Python what we have, but here it's a one of the popular show, and the name is picked from the show name. Okay, and they also say that what is this dynamically typed programming? So Python is a general purpose high level programming language. Yeah, that's acceptable because we can understand what is happening in the background. We can read the code and we can help ourselves what logic they're implementing. But they're also saying this dynamically typed programming. So what is this dynamically typed programming? We'll wait and watch. Okay. Now, here I'll show you why it is dynamic. Yeah. If you see here, this is Java, this is Python. Just look at the second example, second point. Okay. Just look at the second point. Now, they're saying Python as dynamically typed programming. And let me tell you what is a static type programming and what is dynamic type programming. Now, imagine I need to use the word data. And imagine I need to assign a 6 to a variable. Now, other than Python here, we have Java. So what we have to do it in Java is, I'm storing A equal to data, B equal to 6 means, first I need to tell what is this A. So A means whether I need to tell I'm going to store a number, whether I'm going to store a date, whether I'm going to store a string, I need to tell that first. So the first thing, if I'm using any other programming language which has static type, that means you need to define the data type. You need to define the data type. So here string and integer is called data type, right? We need to tell the data type. What is a data type? It is a string. It is an integer. It is a numeric value. It is a date value, right? We need to tell that. Without that, you cannot assign the value to a variable. This is called static. You have to always give the data type first. But here you see, simply or I said A equal to data, B equal to 8. No need to define what type of value you are storing it. No need to do that. You can simply go and assign, which will definitely improve my coding features because there is no point in assigning the data type. Now this is called dynamically type programming. Internally what happens, the moment I assign data to A, the moment I assign 8 to B, after that the data type creations will happen. So this is something which is very helpful. You need not create static. Dynamically at the time of initialization, the data types are also assigned. That is where we call it as a dynamic type programming. Okay. Now, that is one thing which you see here as a last step. No need to define any data types as such. You can simply go and use it at the runtime. Now, all these are some of the background about Python. Now, let's compare why this Python is so famous. In this 36 years of its journey, it has actually shown its true colors. And today it stands on top saying that nothing is impossible. Everything you can write it in Python code. That's a tagline. You can do anything in Python. And forget about anything. Anyone can do in Python. That's the main point here. You're from a coding background, you're from a non-coding background, even 5-year-old kid also can go and write the code. Now, all this is possible because this language is very, 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 very easy. I was a person who had never liked coding in my life. I was decided, oh, I should never go into coding. You give me any task, I will do. Right from my college, I was against this coding. And today, you give me any logic, I can write the code in Python. The interest which I got in coding is because of Python. Such a easy subject for us. You want to know how easy it is? Let's see here. Let's see here. Imagine I want to write one simple hello world. A simple hello world. You have all joined the class today. I want to greet you. Good morning. Hello guys. Today we are going to learn Python. I'm going to greet you. A simple greet I've shown you in two programming languages. Here I've written welcome to Java. Here I've written hello world. I just need to print a couple of words. I need to greet you. For greeting itself, see how much of logic I need to write it in Java. Right? I don't know why they have written class. I don't know why this unnecessary bracket. I don't know what is this public static void main string, all this. I don't know why they have written. Again, one more bracket. Again, one more bracket close. And again, class, main method, and then logic. So basically, to write one print statement that is a hello world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8. Probably if I put all the brackets in one line, 6 lines. 6 lines to just greet you hello world. But here, just a one word. I don't know why they are making this much of complex, right? But of course, I cannot compare it always with Java. You take any coding, the number of lines that we write in Python is very, very easy, and number of lines is also less. So here, any programming language you take, it always has its own standard. It has the own way of writing it. I'll tell you why programming languages are difficult. Because you need to follow some protocols. What is protocols? Rules and regulations. Okay, if you want to do something in coding, you have to follow some rules. That is why it is difficult. And that is why, especially for Indians, always programming language is difficult. You know why? Traffic rules only, it is very hard for us to follow. And here, how can I follow programming language rules? Right? The reason why we are all feeling any programming language difficult because we are against the rules and regulations. Personally, me also. I want to save some 2 to 3 minutes of time. I jump the signal. I have to go nearby. I don't wear helmet. So we are against all these rules and regulations. That's why it is difficult for us. But if you are going with a programming language, the reason why it is getting tougher and tougher because you guys will not follow syntax. You guys will not write it properly, right? You will not put the proper keywords, typo mistake, spelling mistake, that mistake, this mistake. That is where you get all these frustrations. If you don't write a simple semicolon, even you sit for 3 to 4 days, you will not be able to figure out. And that is why you feel that programming languages are difficult. You start following the rules. Any coding language, it's easy to learn, right? You're not learning something a rocket science. If you go and ask how rocket flies, you go to ask NASA and ISRO, it's difficult. That's a difficult subject, I can say. But this programming language is as simple as that. Only thing is you need to follow some rules. You need to understand what is this public, what is this static, what is this void, what is this main, what happens if I don't write this. Of course, you're talking about Java here, but you need to understand what this does. If you don't write, it will not work. It will not work because you have to follow some rules and regulations. But here, very easy, very easy. So today Python is getting famous because the number of lines we write and it's easy to write, and that is why it is famous. Okay, now as we know that we compared the programming languages as high level programming language and low level programming language, Python stands to be high level programming language. Now there are n number of reasons why we have to use Python for our data engineering. See, we are all here to learn data engineering, right? And for data engineering, why are we going with Python? I'll tell you, data engineering is really tough, right? To reach on top of the mountain, that is the data engineering. Imagine data engineering is Mount Everest. Now you have to climb this Mount Everest to reach on top. Now, in order to go up, you need to be free. You cannot carry all your luggages and trolley bags to top of your mountain, right? Then what is the point in climbing? Someone should be there to lift you, and you are lifting all the heavy bags, right? Now, in order to reach on top of the mountain, your hands should be as free as possible. You should not carry any luggages. So your path should be smooth. And that's what this is. Python makes your path smooth to touch the target. I repeat, Python makes your work easier to reach on top of the mountain. How? Rather than writing 100 lines or 200 lines, your Python is going to help you with limited lines. That itself is like a bonus for us. Okay. Now let's see, why are we using Python for data engineering? The first thing is it has a larger community. So what do you mean by community here? If something is wrong, in that case, I can simply go and ask someone and they will help us. There is a separate set of people who are experts in Python. So for example, imagine how to read one full line, right? And you'll get answers. Automatically convert some notebook to Python file. You'll have 3 answers. And if you want, you can even also give answer, right? So like this, you post something on your real time, you face some issues, simply go and paste it in the community, and community will get you the answer all across the globe, right? Across the globe, if anyone has a similar use case, they will go and comment it, and it is a very large community. Personally speaking, I will always go and refer this. Anything I'm stuck, I'll simply go and ask here. Nowadays everyone is asking in chat gpt, but before chat gpt, everyone used to get this from the community, because chat gpt is like last 1 or 2 years it's been there. But before that, what we used to do, I am not coming from chat gpt era. You guys are using chat gpt more often, right? On a daily basis you use. I never use. Then for me, I've been coding for last 10 years. Who will help me? Community. Community was a place where I used to get answers for most of the use cases and solutions. And that's why the first point which I would say is it has a larger community. Within 2-3 days, you'll get the answer if you post something on the community. We'll see how we can post, but at this point of time, I want to explain you why are we switching to Python for our data engineering use case, right? So that's the agenda here. So the first one is a large community. The second one is easy syntax. Easy syntax. Believe it or not, my cousin is 5th standard. He knows Python coding. 5th standard. 5th standard, and he knows Python coding. You may ask how? Come on, it's easy. It's easy. Anyone can learn, right? Anyone can learn. When you're listening to my class, you make your kid also to sit beside you and put you on speaker and ask them to follow. They will also learn Python. Such an easy subject. I don't know why things are getting complicated. People are fear about coding, 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 coding. There is nothing here. There is nothing here, right? It's very, very easy. And an example, if you want to write it. See, you all know the normal English word, right? Maybe it's a one-line word which I'm showing, but as and then the things gets more and more logic, everything is easy. Everything is easy here, right? Now, its easy syntax is also making us to be an added advantage for data engineering. The third one, open source. Open source. The reason why it is called open source, because anyone can download it for free and anyone can use it for any of the applications. So in order to use Python, you need not pay. There is no licensing cost. There is no library cost. There is no installation cost. It is called open source. Open source, you download it today, you use it for your personal usage, general purpose usage, you build an application, there is no one going to question you. It's completely open source. Okay. One of the coding master is always Java. Okay. So always in a kingdom, there will be one king, right? In a kingdom, there will be one king. To give an example, lion is the king of jungle, right? Eagle is the king of sky. Blue whale is the king of water. Who is the king in Indian cricket team?
Sachin.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Kohli.
Kohli, right?
Kohli.
Kohli. We call him as a king Kohli, right? Now, if you ask me, who is a king in programming languages? Undoubtedly, it goes to Java. Okay. So Java is the king of programming language. But why you want to become a king here? I cannot do all the complex works. Let's go and use Python only, and let's try to be like a king, right? You need not be a king. We can always be like a king. See, that's what, right? What you would do with that crown? What do you do with crown? Of course, we Python developers need not be like a king. Java, not required. What do you carry with that one crown, right? Just because Rohit Sharma did not win the test match, does he make him a bad captain? No, right? So it's fine. We are not king, but let's see what we are differing from the king. Why, in what way we are differed? Let's see. Okay. Now, there is a chance for us to see the difference between Java and Python. Let's see what is good in that Java. Okay. Now, let's see the difference. So Java is a static type programming. Okay. We are dynamic type programming. Of course, we are better here. We are better, right? If I have a penalty shoot between Java and Python, let's see who wins. Okay. So in this case, we are better. We are better. Why? You need not give any data types. Directly we will assign, right? Now, with respect to Java applications, you can build a web application. Yeah, even I can build a web application, right? Maybe I can write some logics in testing and Selenium. Yeah, even I can also write some testing. In fact, I have a more advantage. I can build some data science models, machine learning models, and artificial intelligence code. Everything I can write. Ideally speaking, by seeing the features and by seeing the applications, I feel like Python is on top. But let me tell you, if I'm comparing these two guys, it's like comparing Sachin and Virat. Nowhere I can say Sachin is best, nowhere I can say Virat is best. Both are good in their own roles, right? Similarly, if I'm taking Messi and Ronaldo, two top football players, right? So if I ask who is best, I cannot say, because both have their different styles and different way of playing. Now, if you ask me, is Java better or Python better? I cannot answer this, right? I cannot answer this. Even if you go and ask in Google, even Google does not have answer. It will say both are used for their own specific purpose, right? And why Java is on top, I'll tell you. Java is on top. Even today, Java is evergreen. Okay, any Java developers in the house, I can simply say that you are always on top in coding. Why? Because Java is very an excellent tool for enterprise application. When I say enterprise application, the banking applications, right? The backend of maybe IRCTC websites or ICSC net banking, all this type of complex logics, the complex applications can be built in Java. If you ask me, can I build a similar application like IRCTC application or maybe ICSC net banking or HDFC net banking in Python? I'm not saying impossible, but it's very, 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 very difficult. Very difficult. Some of the enterprise applications are some of the big companies are using their websites and they're building a logic. You know how Takkal ticket works, right? In train ticket, exactly at 11 o'clock, multiple requests comes into picture and it will be given as a first come, first serve, right? So you all know that. If there is any ticket booking, how the ticket booking happens, right? So lot of session-based applications are there in that. Even today, of course, it's a Python class, but still I can say that there is no other technology which can be as best as Java. For all the enterprise applications, Java is the best. But why am I going to build a web application here? Why am I going to build an enterprise application here? We have all joined here for data engineering, right? And that is why we are getting rid of Java here. No need. Java, you're not required for us. Tomorrow, if I want to do any enterprise application, maybe I will learn you. But as of now, no. Similarly, Java also has a negative point. If you want to build any machine learning models and artificial intelligence, you have to write 10,000 lines. This can be achieved in 1,000 lines. Now that is where Python is best. Python is not best for enterprise application, but Python is 100 times better than Java for your models, pipelines, logics. And that is why we are going with Python. See, it's as simple as that. What is your usage? Right? Are you going to build an enterprise application or are you going to build a models or pipelines? That is needed. So for me, in today's session, if I want to conclude, is Java best or Python best? The answer is neither are best or both are best. That's all. I can never point out to one and I can never point out to another one because both are good at own purpose. Right? See, simple. You have 4 people in your house, right? One person is very good at money management. One person is very good at cooking. One person is very good at taking care of other things. So it's all about their roles and responsibilities, right? So similarly, never conclude Java is best or Python is best. No, it's all about use case. What are you going to do? And now, why the only reason why I'm going with Python is because of this. Some of the data science, data engineering, data analytics, all this coding, I'll be going with Python libraries. It's making a work easier because I've already told you your data engineering is like a Mount Everest. You need to make the path smooth. So obviously you need to keep your hands free. You need not write more logics. That's why Python we are using. If you're using Java to reach on top of the Mount Everest, it's like carrying a trolley bag to the top. It's like carrying a trolley bag. How much you will take there? How much load you will take to the top of the mountain? But it is best for its own use case. So that is why today I'm telling you Python is very, very, very good for us, not for everyone. It need not be good for everyone. Okay, for me, for my usage, Python is best. Okay, now with that, why Python is famous, you know? These guys, Python guys, they're actually borrowed some of the concepts from all the other programming language, and that's why it's famous. And that is why it is famous. It knows everything. It knows everything. For example, in my home, people always say that you're best. You know why? If you see 4 to 5 people in your house, each one will have own responsibilities, right? But you know what I do? I work. I work for a company. Maybe I'm taking care of family. But you know what? I also cook food. I also do all the other extra works. Now that makes me a standout in my house, right? So I'm not only sticking on to my role here. I can do everything. I may not be the best cook like my mom, but I can cook. Similarly, Python cannot be as good as Java for OOPS concept, but Python can do. What is this OOPS concept? It's like object-oriented programming. It's like object-oriented programming. Some of the features it has taken from Java. But Java is always on top. Java is top because it always follows object-oriented programming. What is this object-oriented programming? Everything they'll consider as like an object. Chair is an object. Laptop is an object. I am an object. If you take a train, bus, car, everything is an object. So everything we work on the object level. And that is why we call it object-oriented programming. So what is this Python has done? What is this Python has done? It has borrowed all the features from all the other programming languages, and that is why it is famous. It cannot be the best in that, but it knows it. I may not be best in money management like my dad, but I know it. I may not be the best cook in like my mom, but I can do it. Similarly, some of the features it has taken from all the other programming language. Don't think too much. What is this functional? What is this oops? What is this all this modular features and all? It's of some features. And that is why today Python is famous. So Python is taking some of the functional features from C language. Python is taking some of the oops features from Java, and Python is a combination of functional features from C, OOPS concept from C++, scripting language from Perl and shell scripting, and modular programming from modular tree. Basically, it can do everything. It can do everything. See, the best example I can give you is, here's like a Hardik Pandya in Indian team. Python can be related to Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya can bat. Hardik Pandya can bowl. Hardik Pandya can also keep. Hardik Pandya can also field. He can do all four. But do you think he's best in all? Is he best than Virat Kohli? No. Is he best than Bumrah? No. Is he best than Virat Kohli in fielding? No. He can do everything. He can do everything. He is a customized player who can do everything. Similarly, this coding is a customized way of writing everything here. But it is not best in all. That's fine, acceptable, because I know everything. And that is why this is famous. You can do anything. If you want to write scripting, web application, if you want to go and build models, you can want to go for use, if you want to use for general purpose, you can do everything here. And that is why it is famous. Another way where I could always relate this is, your Python is like your library. What do you mean by library? In your college and schools, you would have seen your libraries, right? They have lot of books they have already written. There is no one is asking you to write one book here. Okay, there is no one who is asking to write a book here. Already they have written a lot of books. You just need to refer it. You just need to refer it. Okay, one of the advantage of Python is rich libraries. If you want to do any operation, you need not worry. Already they have done it and they've kept it in the library. You just need to know what functions you have to use there. Simple, simple, right? So that's the advantage of going with Python. You need not write any logic. They have already written and kept it for you. You have to use it. You have to use it. Simple. You have to just use it. So the purpose of using the rich libraries, there is a library is called Pandas, PySpark, NumPy, Scikit-learn, TensorFlow. All this are already they have written the logics and they've kept it here. We just have to use it. In my role, even if I ask you, if in my projects, the current projects, in the next 30 minutes, I have to log into my office. The first thing I do is I go and do some analysis. I go and write some logics in Python. 50% of the logics will always be referred from the libraries. Only 50% I write my own logic. Now that's the advantage because they have a very, very, very rich libraries. We will also be learning libraries here, but still the point which I'm trying to bring you here is these libraries were very helpful to save your time. No need to rewrite it, right? Now that's the advantage of going with rich libraries. So we have seen as a large community, one of the main reason why I'm using Python, and easy syntax, open source, and followed by rich libraries, and job opportunities also more for Python. If you see the order, if you know Python, the probability of getting a job is higher than all the other programming languages. Okay, we have listed on all the opportunities, right? And here we see that Python plays a major role. Python, SQL, Java are the top three. I'm not saying it's the top three on the performance. It's on top three on the job opportunities. So Python stands on top for the job opportunities. You may ask me, can I build a data engineering pipelines using Java? Definitely you can. You can. Okay, definitely you can. But you have to put lot of struggle, lot of coding, everything you can do. Right? A guy walking to the Mount Everest with a free hand, a guy walking to the Mount Everest with a trolley bag. Both are same. Both can reach. But who can reach faster? Who can reach in a better way? And who can cross the path with ease? That is important, right? So job opportunities also is one of the reason why we are going with Python. And finally, I would say it is platform independent. When I say platform independent, it is possible to install in your any machine. If you want to use Python in Windows, possible. If you want to use Python with your Mac, possible. Ubuntu, possible. Unix, possible. Let it be any OS, you can always go and use Python. Okay. So with this, these are all the reasons why are we using Python for your data engineering. I am not saying Python is on top in the programming language. I have never revealed this statement and I'll never do that. For our use case, what I need, and for that I can say Python is the best fit. Python is the best fit. Some of the applications and features I would say is like it's an open source. You can handle the exception handling. Many libraries are there. Memory management is good. Cross-platform. You can install it in any machine. It's very readable because it's a high-level programming language. Very easy to learn, and most importantly, it is free. All these features is making Python to be more effective in the usage. And followed by you can also build business applications, audio applications, 3D applications, image processing, web applications, console based games, everything you can build. But my main advantage will be like data engineering, maybe data processing. I can say that. So it can do everything, but not to the best. But if I ask you which it can do the best, it's for, maybe I can say that it is for pipeline building, scripting, or maybe your logic implementation, calculating new columns. All this I can use Python. I'm not here to build a web application. I'm not here to do an image processing. I'm not here to build some games here, but you can do it. That's what I can say at application of Python. Now, in order to work with Python, you need one software. You need one software. Without software, where will I go and play? Right? So, for example, you're a cricket player, where you can go and play. You have to go and play in cricket playground only, right? Without playground, where you will play? So, similarly, in order to write the code, you need an editor, and that is where you have a Anaconda. I don't know why again they have kept a snake name only, right? So, Python is a snake name, but it's a programming language. And the software where I'll go and write code, it's Anaconda. Okay, it's Anaconda. So before coming to the next class, I would expect everyone to install this Anaconda software for our practicals. End of theory. No more theory. Theory is done. 2 days you have got the master class of data engineering. 1 day today you have got the introduction to Python. That's it. No more theory classes. All the classes from tomorrow is going to be practicals. So what is this Anaconda? Anaconda is a software to install which can use it for our Python coding. So I've given you a simple steps, very easy installation. To install Anaconda, you have to go and search Anaconda download and you will get the first link. Just go and click this Anaconda distribution and you will see here. In this, which one you want? This was a Windows, this is a Mac, and this is a some other OS. So you click it. So I have selected Windows. So Windows download is coming. So Anaconda distribution download for Windows. Click here. World's most popular open source Python distributed platform. Click here. And once you download will start. And this is a downloaded version, exe file. So Anaconda 3, you may find a different version, but that's completely fine because I have installed in maybe 2 years back. It will have a 2 years back's library. For your case, you can install now, you will get a latest libraries. So put that into one software folder, right? And ideally now it should be 2025's version should be there, but that's fine. I have installed in 2022. So you can see the 22 to 22 version, but for you 2025 version will come. That's fine. Then what you do, double click. If you double click, this will be the software setup screen that you will get it. Then you go and click next. Then you go and accept the license. I agree. Then you're only the only person who's going to use for this application. So just go and give just me. Click next. Click next. Click next. Click install. You can say register Anaconda 3 as my default Python. Just go here. Click next. Install. And the installation happens. This will take bit more time because it will go and extract all the current libraries. So it will take bit more time. All this libraries it will get installed. Next. Next. Completely completing Anaconda 3 setup, finish. So the moment you finish, installation success. So this is a message you will get it. Okay. Now, after this, you have to go to your search tab and search Anaconda Navigator. Once you have installed, go here and search Anaconda Navigator. Okay. So Anaconda Navigator is what you see here. Click that. If you click the Anaconda Navigator, you'll get a screen like this. You'll get a screen like this. Okay. You'll get the initialization Anaconda symbol you'll get. And the screen you will get Anaconda Navigator.
Santosh, one question. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have Jupyter installed in my system. Then
That's what I'll tell
is
you.
it
Wait.
okay?
I'll tell you. See, Anaconda is opening actually. It's taking time. Yeah. So this is a screen you will see after installing. Okay. So this is a screen that you will see here. See, this is a screen you will see here. Now here, all these are all these are some tools. Okay, you have something called Spider, you have something called VS Code, we have something called Oracle Cloud, we have something called Gluwix, right? So all these are tools. All these are tools. Okay, these tools are integrated with Anaconda. Okay. Now, where can I write code? I can write my code anywhere. You can write it in Jupyter Notebook. You can write it in Spider. You can write it in something called Orange. You can also write some R Studio. You can write some PyCharm Professionals. For example, I want to build a web application. See, I'm not saying it is not possible. It is still possible to build a web application. But if you want to build a web application, you need a proper software. That is nothing but PyCharm. I can install this. If I want to write some statistical code using R language, I can do this. If I want to write any maybe a testing tools or maybe Selenium, something I need to do, I can go and write it in Spider. So all this are some built-in tools. But for our use case, we mainly use something called Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook is a web-based interactive computing notebook environment, which is human readable. So going forward, you want to write some logic. You can use any tool here, but I will use notebook. See, first you have to open this navigator, Anaconda navigator, and inside the navigator you have seen here, then you can open this Jupyter Notebook. Then you can open the Jupyter Notebook. First time it will show as launch install. Next time it will show as launch. Now I've clicked the launch. So automatically it has opened the notebook here. Okay. Now this is a Jupyter Notebook for us. Now this is where we will write the code. This is where we will write the code. Go to new, open the new notebook. Okay. Now this is our notebook, right? I can come here, or else I can do one more thing also. No need to open this navigator at all. No need to open this navigator at all. After opening navigator, you can see multiple tools where I click the Jupyter Notebook, right? No need to do that. No need to do that. You can close all of this. You can close all of this. No need to open Anaconda navigator. Directly open Jupyter Notebook. Directly open Jupyter Notebook. Both will be available. Of course, I have to write all my code in Jupyter Notebook. So let's go and open directly Jupyter Notebook. No need to open Anaconda Navigator. Anaconda Navigator, you can check whether it is installed or not. That is fine. But going forward, everything I will code here. So let me open Jupyter Notebook. The moment I open the Jupyter Notebook, directly it will come to the same screen here. It will come to the same screen here. Now I will go to new. Now I'll go to Python 3. It has taken me to the same screen. Okay. Now I will have to go and write the code. So here you can see, right? It's a one line. So you can create multiple lines here. So you'll create multiple lines. So let me go and write my first code today. So if you're all writing for the first time, don't go and write in Ragukala, okay? Just check when you are writing. Welcome to Python. Now, the guys who are writing for the first time, write this. There is a run command and run it. You will get the statement. Okay. So this is as simple as that, where you can go and write some first code. Imagine I have to write 6 plus 7 or 6 plus 3. Next, go and click this run. Automatically get the answer. Now 6 plus 3 minus bracket 8 cross this one. And then you go and add some more logic. Do all of this. If you just click run, you'll get it. So basically, every cell what you write, you have to press go and click run, or you can also press 3 plus 4. You can also press shortcut. Okay, there's a shortcut. Shift plus enter. That means both shift and enter, if you press together, automatically it will run. No need to press as this run, automatically it will run. So Jupyter Notebook is excellent tool for our writing the code. So no need to open this what is that navigator, Anaconda navigator. You can directly open Jupyter and you can write the code. Okay, so from tomorrow onwards we will be writing the complete practical code. So today what we have seen is we have seen the introduction, we have seen the history, we have installed it, and finally we'll be writing some basic code. So before coming to the next class, try to install this Anaconda and write this first code and keep it ready. This is the first code, keep it ready. From tomorrow we will be learning the concepts. So this completes our Python introduction, and if you have any questions, please ask one by one.
Santosh, which is the most preferred IDE? Like in my company, we are using Visual Studio to write the Python code.
It depends on the use case, okay? If you are working on some of the logics, scripting and all, VS Code is also good. So Jupyter is also good. Spider is also good. So it all depends on company's need. Why I'm preferring Jupyter Notebook? Because in the real time, all the data engineers will be using something called Databricks. So Databricks is exactly like what you see in Jupyter Notebook. That's why I'm preferring Jupyter Notebook. But you can use anything.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning, sir. I'm Ganesh.
Tell me.
Sir, I'm a data analyst working with the Power BI and SQL. To upgrade my skills, I'm taking this course. Will this be helpful for me? Like I am looking for data analytics only.
You're looking for data analytics.
Yeah, Python for data analytics. Will this be helpful for me?
See, you can take this, but here we will be focusing on data engineering only.
Okay.
This Python, see, as I said, right, Python can use it for anything, right? From building an application till a UI development, everything I can do. But in this course, I will be focusing mainly on the engineering side. You can learn, but you can also check with Mahesh if they will give only Python here. That you can check with Mahesh. Because it comes with a complete package, right? This is a data engineering course where you're learning SQL, Python, data warehousing, Azure services, everything you're learning. So only Python, you have to check with our team.
Yeah. Okay, I will check with the team. But my concern is like, after learning here, will this be useful? Will this be helpful for my job?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
With the added advantage of Power BI and SQL, if you're learning Python, definitely it will be helpful.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Santosh, I am audible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, today I am new in the class. I watched the two recording session. I have not much experience in the IT. I have only 1 year, 6 months near. I work as a Oracle Apex developer. Daily basis, I write SQLs and PL SQL codes. I want to know the how the career opportunities in data engineering fields, and it is good for me this course. Taking.
See, data engineering is a most, I would say that most offered in these days because of the usage, right? So without data engineers, all the other opportunities are going down. Like data analytics, data science, it's going down. So we don't have a proper platform. And in the recent days, in the last few years, what is happening is the data is getting very large volume. Even we are using, right, on the daily basis, you're using so much of data. So there is a two problems that we have is a storage and processing. So as long as storage and processing problem is solved, your data engineering also will not stop. So it will be keep on growing. We know that how the data is growing, right? So the career opportunities for any data related subject, it could be data science, it could be data analytics, it could be data engineering, it could be artificial intelligence, it could be anything which is related to data, will always be on top. So for the next 10 years, you need not worry. But after 10 years, what happens? Even I don't know, right? So we don't know what is going to happen in the 10 years before how the world was. Now after 10 years how the world is, we know, we can see it. All right. So in the next 10 years, I can promise you that this technologies will be there. But after that, maybe some new technology, new tools can come. So we have to adopt it. But as of
Yeah.
now, data engineering has a lot of opportunities, and data engineers is the only guys who are actually getting high package.
Okay.
Hello,
And
Santosh. Good morning. This is Shivaji. Currently, I'm a government employee and I'm looking for change into IT. So, is this course helpful for me?
Definitely yes. But as I told in the beginning, I cannot promise you 100% job guarantee, but it also relies on how you practice. On the daily basis, if you practice on the daily basis, if you follow all the assignments, homeworks, even you can get a job. Doesn't matter where you come from. You can be a government employee, you can be any employee, anyone can get into IT, anyone can get into role if you have the passion of learning these technologies.
Thank you, sir.
Santosh, after the completion of the course, I got some 2 years of experience. Then, how much salary can I expect? Minimum salary or maximum?
Yes, your data engineering salary depends on three factors. What is your current salary? What is your experience? And how much skill you know? Skill, I can promise you that you can get it here. And your package depends on your current package. So usually what happens, I have seen for 2 years, even I've seen a lot of guys are getting 11 lakhs, 12 lakhs also. Okay. In the similarly, the 2 years same student, my student itself, I've got 6 and 7 lakhs also. So it all depends on what is your current package. But ideally, I have seen in my experience as well as in my students' history, right? What I have what I have seen is people are getting 4x times their experience. For example, if your experience is 2, you can easily get 8 lakhs per annum. If you're 5 years experience, you can easily get 20 lakhs. This is what I've seen for data engineers, 4x times. But not everyone will get 5 years experience. Not everyone will get 20 lakhs. Some may get even 18 or 19 because it depends on their current package also.
Yeah, hi Santosh.
Santosh, this is Mahendra.
Tell me.
Today only I could be able to join the today class. And in data engineering, what are the subject, what are the things you have been covering? And I was missed that class. And moreover, that ETL tester can, is there any possibility to get a very good amount of what I can say says that job opportunity and as well as salary part also? I would like to get to know that.
See, first of all, to answer your first question, I request you to go back and see the first 2 videos where I've clearly explained what is data engineer. Okay. I've also talked about the ETL. So it doesn't matter whether you're an ETL tester or a developer, this role will definitely suit you. So the first 2 days of the data engineering masterclass, I've given you the clarity what we can do there. And coming to the technologies, as I've told you, SQL will be the first one which we already covered. Now we are going with Python. Then we'll go with the data warehousing, and followed by we will be going with big data. In the big data will be big data is a problem. We have two solutions. One will be Hadoop and Spark. So both we will be learning, and followed by we'll be going with cloud. So these are the things that will be learning. You can reach out to our team. Our team can share you the syllabus. So the complete curriculum they will be sharing. It goes up to 120 days, right?
All right.
And we will be covering around 150 hours. What are the services we'll be covering? What are the subtopics we'll be covering? What we will be learning in the big data? What we'll be learning in the cloud? Everything we will be focusing on the syllabus. So please take the syllabus where
And
you will get all the details.
And last 2 days, you said that, as you said that two classes I have been missed. Is there any possibility to get those 2 days
You can
recorded?
visit our last 2 videos on our YouTube channel.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
Hi
Thank you.
Santosh. Yeah, this is Rajesh. So just I have one question. So I'm working as Oracle EBS technical. So is it right decision to migrate to the data engineer or better to in Oracle EBS itself?
See, that's what I've been telling you from all 3 days. Doesn't matter what your role is. Okay, you can be any role, but you can always become a data engineer with a proper support and proper practice. So you work with Oracle, you work with SAP, you work with anything, doesn't matter. If you want to get some high package with a good clarity of what the subject is, this is a role.
Okay. So, for example, so how would be the workload, Santosh? I mean to say, for example, if the 2 years, 3 years, 4 years is fine. But if you more experienced, how would be the workload and what kind of expectations they will expect? So, what kind of role they are going to assign?
Data engineering will always be a bit tough to work, but really the worth, because this is a one role which gives you a very high package. Data load will be there. For example, I work for 8 hours, 10 hours, possibility is there. Even you can work for 11 hours, but it will be worth because they're paying you so much, right? So always they'll expect you to be on top in terms of the work.
Okay. So, for example, if you stuck anywhere or if any debug mechanism, so can we get any somewhere in the means any forums like that, or we need to debug ourselves and we need to identify the issue? How it would be?
See, we will be telling you how to debug, what type of challenges you'll get. That's what we are going to learn, right? The entire course will be focusing on how to work in the real time, what of challenges you'll get. Everything we will learn here. We'll also be doing couple of projects, so that will give you the clarity.
Yeah, basically, why I asked is, for example, if you take Oracle EBS, so if you get stuck anywhere, it is that any of it is too right. So we'll create the Oracle SRs and Oracle SR will guide. So that kind of support will get here, or so we need to debug ourselves, like how in the Java code at the time of
See,
compile.
debug will always be there, but in case if you're stuck somewhere in the logic, you can always go and ask the community.
Okay. So there is okay.
That's what I told you, right? We have a very large community. If you want anything, you can always get there.
Okay. Okay. So what about the experienced person, Santosh? I mean to say, for example, with the 14 years or 12 years of experience. Okay. So what's the thing they will expect? They will expect the multi roles, or I mean to say, they have to reporting, dashboards, and programming. Everything they will expect, or specific to a particular stream they will expect. What kind of expectations they will expect?
So if you are 14 years experience, the maximum you can show up to 5 years of experience after learning this course. And obviously they'll expect you some leadership qualities. They'll expect you some guiding the team. They'll also expect you to sit and code. So 14 years is see, I'm 10 years now. I'm completing 10 years and I'm 11 years. In the 11 years, they've asked me to manage the team. 40 people are reporting to me. I work with 7 projects right away, and 2 projects I have to do hands-on. So I have to sit and code. So I'm doing everything. The same thing will be expected from you also.
Okay, okay. So is the however the salary is I mean to say, if you come to the one particular experience level, it will saturate, or it's not kind of the only based on the work. I mean to say, the how much knowledge we are having based on how they will we will expect it. It's based on purely knowledge and
It depends
um,
on your skills, it depends on your past, and it also depends on your current package.
but workload is more, right? So I mean to
Yes.
say, it should be, yeah, got it. So we have to get the data from multiple sources, and so if, whatever the data engineering you mentioned is not a specific to one simple coding. We need to think in integrations, all those things also, right? Like
Right. With learning this, we will be like uh, implementing in a larger aspect. Like we'll be trying to connect multiple data sets, we'll be doing transformations. So we'll do everything. Python language can be used to communicate with any other programming language as any other tools.
okay. So in the for the ETL tools like Snowflake, some different tools are there. So for all these base is the Python. Means generally they will use Python only, right? Or maybe if you migrate to different tools, the company is going to use different tools, right? Suppose if they use some X tool, so we have to learn that based on the requirement, or it's more similar to what we have learned in the Snowflake or someone else, some different technologies also.
I'm sorry, I did not understand your question.
Example. So in the ETL tool, like for the data engineering or whatever data analysis, we should have a solid data, right? It should be the ETL tool or something where we can get the data, all those things, right? So for that, we have so many tools. Snowflake is there, Databricks is there, some different tools are
See,
there.
whatever tools may be there, you can talk to any tool with Python. Simple.
Okay.
Python is a one language where you can pull the data, you can connect with any of the other things, and you can start working.
Oh, okay. Fine, Santosh. Thank you. I got my answer. Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Any other questions?
Santosh, just one small question. So you said no
Santosh,
120 days of the
Hmm?
course. So is this 120 days including with the sequel, or from today it is starting
No,
120 days?
including SQL. Already 20 days we have completed SQL. So from today it will be 80 days.
No,
80 to 90 days, yeah.
100 days, right?
Yeah, correct.
What is Santoshji? What is the fee structure for data engineering?
The fee structure will be, we'll be teaching SQL, we'll be teaching Python, data warehousing, big data, cloud, and we'll be teaching all three cloud. Okay, where we'll be covering Azure as 90%, 90% syllabus, and GCP and AWS will be covering 10%. Okay, now all of this, the total fees comes to 40,000. Okay, so this you'll be getting everything like one-on-one support, interview guidance, resume preparations, and we'll review your resume, mock interviews, everything will include here. And if you go with this is if you're going with installments. Okay, by chance if you're opting for one-time payment, you'll get it for 35.
Thank you, Santosh.
Santosh, are
Hi,
you going to cover
Santosh,
PySpark
can
also,
we
right?
Yes.
get alone without Anaconda?
What are you saying?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Actually, I'm asking that can we install Jupyter without installing Anaconda?
You can do it. You can do it. But one thing I'm suggesting is install Anaconda where you can use multiple tools there. You want Jupyter Notebook, you can use. If you want tomorrow, if you want to use uh, Spider, you can use it. If you want to use a PyCharm, you can use it. So it is an advantage.
Okay.
Hi,
Thank you.
hi Santosh. We also discussed that we would be learning Databricks and Azure Data Lakes. All those things will come under cloud section of this course or
Yes,
big
it
data.
will come under cloud.
Okay.
What we learn in SQL and Python, the same we will be replicating that in the cloud with the more complex logics.
Okay, understood.
Santosh, learning big data and cloud, the Hadoops, and PySpark, the any laptop hardware requirements is needed. That, installing or not any
i5
hardware.
configuration should be enough. i5 configuration with the 16 GB RAM should be more than enough.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hi, Santosh.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, means we are joining the course from Python. So, means as we have missed the SQL part, so is it manageable? Means how can we manage? How to manage SQL and Python both? Means, yeah, can you help in that?
See, first of all, SQL, what we have covered, it can be learned anytime. By the time you come with cloud, right, you can learn this. So since you've already completed SQL, you can take the recordings of the same batch. Whenever you have time over the weekend, you can go for it. Or else if you're like very much saying that I want only the live class, maybe next 1 week or 2 weeks in the future, we'll be organizing another course where we'll be starting from scratch. You attend their SQL and here Python. So it's up to you. In if you register this course in this particular batch, you will be allowed to attend any SQL classes across our organization. Any batch will allow you.
Okay.
Santosh, all
And
the classes will be in online classes or what? I mean, what is the timings about the classes?
Different timings will be there. We usually start our day with 6:30 class. So 6:30 there will be one batch, 8 o'clock will be another batch, that is your batch, and evening there will be a couple of batches. So you can attend any batch according to your flexibility. If you feel like, no, I cannot make up any time except this 8 o'clock, you can go with recordings.
All right, thank you.
Okay, with that, if you don't have any questions, we'll stop here for today. Tomorrow, while coming to class, you have to install the Jupyter, that is Anaconda, and then we will be doing practicals from tomorrow. Okay, thank you all.